students in Coach Miller and Coach Shackett's class at Rocky Mountain. We'll have more from them a little later in the newscast.
That's right, Phil. Today we are at the Museum of Idaho for their exhibit, Rebels with a Cause. Many D93 patrons have already experienced this exhibit. We tagged along with some students from Hillview during their tour. It's a chance to take a break from politics and get in touch with the patriotism that fueled the birth of our great nation.
Especially at this time. This is an election year, and so we planned this exhibit because of that. But we also thought that it would be a really good chance for everybody to kind of be reminded about where the United States started and think about how it's evolved from that point.
George Washington, Paul Revere, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock. You know the names, and we were there as students from Hillview were able to see actual artifacts from our founding fathers.
We're very excited to have young people in this exhibit, especially students who are learning about U.S. history in their classrooms, because engaging with history in a very real and tactile way, getting to see artifacts that came from a time period that you're learning about in a book, I think really solidifies the learning and makes an experience out of what you're teaching in the classroom.
That looked like Mr. T. Okay. Sam, we truly are blessed to have a museum of this caliber right here in our town, and it doesn't matter what the headliner is or the world-class exhibit. I think I enjoy seeing the Bonneville County stuff every time I come in.
You're right, Phil, and you're not alone because my kids are the same way. We come for the headliner and we always end up in the basement. Now, a massive earthquake hit the district last week, and the timing could not have been worse, as record-setting snowfall only complicated things.
Well, the good news is this was obviously a drill. The great news is the drill was a huge success.
I thought we learned a lot from it. Like I said, I think we did a pretty good job. One thing that we discussed with our emergency personnel, that the feedback from them was they were impressed with how well the drill went, how calm everybody stayed and communicated, and that within the district we have a lot of resources that others don't. We have our own food services, we've got maintenance, so if we had to take care of our own in an emergency widespread like this, we probably could do a pretty good job where others might not be able to have those resources.
The Great Shakeout happens every year on October 20th.
Now, it felt like the ground was shaking last week at Ammon Elementary as the students went bonkers after Principal Murdoch kissed a pig. Teachers ate donuts from a string and took pies to the face during this PTO fundraiser. You can see more from this in the video tab on our Facebook page.
Well, the parking lot was full at Discovery on Friday as parents visited the school for two reasons. The first was to eat lunch with their kids. The second was to visit the Wax Museum.
I'm famous for discovering a part of Greenland. I was born in 950 BC. I was born in Stavanger, Norway. When I was a child, I had to leave Norway with my father. I moved to Iceland and explored Greenland.
The week leading up to Halloween is always a fun one, and the city of Ammon has launched a new tradition by hosting their first annual pumpkin walk. The path at McCowan Park that leads up to the gazebo is lined with fun displays for the whole family. The pumpkin walk runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. from now until Halloween.
Sticking with that Halloween theme, Dr. Slaughter's House of Terror is a Halloween favorite in our area. It was enough to draw in the Mountain Valley Outdoor Club to the inside.
So the kids have been bugging us for years to come to Dr. Slaughter's as a school event, and this is our first time. We have over 90 kids and adults and teachers here today trying to get scared.
Sam, you were brave enough to go through there Friday night. It was a lot of fun, and if you're brave enough to go through, they're open every night this week, and tickets are just $10. Now, they're a nonprofit haunted house where it really benefits the DARE program, so a good cause and a good scare.
That's right. Phil, the A-Team and Scooby-Doo. Redecorating the family truckster can be a challenge, especially when you're considering two great options like those. Well, it turns out you don't have to choose a side. Gabe Wingsgard's van has taken the district by storm, and I pity the fool who says his van isn't cool.
For our viewers at home who might be thinking, hey, let's do an arts and crafts project with my van, any words of advice for them?
Any words of advice? I'd say plan out, make sure you've got a plan, what you got to do. Just have an idea and do what you can do with it. Don't let anything get you down, because there's definitely a lot of things that could have kept me from doing this, but just kept trying hard, got it done.
Sam, the first time we saw that van, I think we were going to a D93 News shoot.
And we only saw one half of it. We only saw the mystery van, and then when it turned the corner, we saw the A-Team and became unglued.
One more time, if somebody thinks that's not cool, what?
Pity the fool.
You pity the fool. Fuel Up to Play 60 and Idaho Dairy Council have donated tens of thousands of dollars to D93 through the years, but this program is about so much more than making a large donation. The goal of Fuel Up to Play 60 is to get kids active. Mountain Valley did just that during their great race on Friday.
We had each of the classes line up in between the cones. We had their teacher go down to the end of the track, and we told them to do good sportsmanship, and whoever gets to the track first, when they win, then they get to when we have the assembly, then they get a shirt.
The winners will be crowned during a special assembly in November.
Now, speaking of big checks, Hunter Christensen received a $1,000 check from Zions Bank at halftime at the Bonneville JV game.
What are you going to do with the money?
I'm just going to save it for college.
Hunter was randomly chosen because of her good grades.
Well, shifting gears now, Sam, to sports presented by your local Grease Monkey. The season is over for Bonneville and Hillcrest. Both teams fought to the very end, but were unable to make the football playoffs.
The Bonneville Bees volleyball team is heading to state. They had no problem advancing through the district playoffs and will take to the court at Skyline High School Friday morning at 9 a.m.
State cross country is also taking place this week. That event is being held on Saturday at the Portneuf Wellness Complex down in Pocatello. The 5A girls are scheduled to run at 1:15 in the afternoon, and the 5A boys will run at around 2:30 that afternoon.
Well, a lot of stuff happening, Phil. We're excited for tomorrow night for the Museum of Idaho classified event.
Come on down.
Come
if you're a
down.
classified employee,
Yep.
come on down. You get in free with your badge.
That's right, and bring your families as well.
Well, that's going to do it for us. We leave you now with some Whip It Nene from our friends over at Rocky Mountain. We'll see you next time on D93 News.
Watch me, nay, Watch me, nay, okay. Now watch me, nay,